The Frank Sutton mystery gets solved, and it's bad. Frank Spencer Sutton was born in Clarksville, Tennessee, on October 23, 1923. Sutton was interested in performing since childhood during the Great Depression. He discovered his love of performance in high school student performances and local theater. He pursued his acting career despite financial challenges. After graduating from East Nashville High School, he studied acting at Columbia University in New York City and graduated cum laude. Early on, his dedication to the trade was clear, and his academic success showed his dedication to personal growth and brilliance. However, World War II impacted Frank Sutton's life like many other young men. Colorblindness prevented Sutton from joining the Marine Corps after Pearl Harbor. Despite this, he joined the U.S. Army and excelled in the Pacific Theater. He participated in 14 assault landings with the 293rd Joint Assault Signal Company, including the Philippines assaults of Leyte and Luzon. His military duty gave him discipline and patriotism that shaped his cinematic roles. He was promoted to sergeant and honorably discharged after the war, earning the respect of veterans and fans. Sutton returned to acting with fresh vigor after the war. He became a versatile character actor in the 1950s by working in theater and television. His early TV performances were The Edge of Night and The U.S. Steel Hour. His 1955 portrayal in Marty with Ernest Borgnine was one of his most memorable early roles. The picture won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture. Despite playing a lesser role, Sutton established his Hollywood credentials. Despite his early success, Sutton achieved his breakthrough in the 1960s with Gomer Pyle, USMC, and Andy Griffith spin-off. Sutton played Sergeant Vince Carter, a harsh drill instructor who was continually frustrated by Jim Neighbors' well-meaning but clumsy Private Gomer Pyle. Sutton and Neighbors' chemistry was electric, and their on-screen dynamic dominated the show. Sutton's ability to mix authority with sensitivity and humor charmed audiences. His portrayal humanized the rigorous military guy, showing sympathy, loyalty, and even affection beneath his bluster. The 1964 to 1969 show was a cultural sensation, drawing millions of spectators weekly. A TV legend, Sutton's catchphrases, especially the booming pee-eel, became part of American pop culture. After serving in the military, Sutton brought truth and sincerity to his role as a humorous foil. His portrayal made him popular with service troops and civilians during the Vietnam War and altering military attitudes. After Gomer Pyle, USMC ended, Sutton worked in theater, advertising, and television. He often guest-starred on The Twilight Zone, Gunsmoke, The Untouchables, and Love American Style, demonstrating his dramatic versatility. Sutton was revered by his peers, despite never reaching the same degree of stardom as during his Gomer Pyle days. In his final years, he performed in dinner theaters and regional shows across the country, entertaining audiences with his limitless energy and charisma. USMC halted manufacturing in 1969 after Gomer Pyle. After 5 successful seasons, Frank Sutton remained a known figure on American television, especially thanks to his prolonged partnership with Jim Neighbors. Sutton became a regular on CBS's 1969 to 1971 musical comedy variety show, The Jim Neighbors Hour. This show offered a break from Gomer Pyle's military environment and allowed Neighbors to perform operatic songs and comedic sketches that preserved the sitcom's charm and humor. Sutton and fellow Gomer Pyle alum Ronnie Shell excelled in comedy skits, demonstrating their timing and expressive range. Sutton often played Neighbors' brother-in-law in these sketches. He might again play his neighbor's innocent and friendly side, like Gomer Pyle. Sutton was freer to explore domestic or situational humor in this new milieu, rather than military strictness. His performances showed his ability to switch between stern, dictatorial parts and lighter, familial comedy. Sutton's humorous connection with Neighbors and Shell worked well on the Jim Neighbors Hour, which helped him keep his Gomer Pyle USMC fan following and boost the show's ratings throughout 3 seasons. Live theater helped Sutton enhance his acting skills outside of TV. In the 1970s, dinner theater was popular. He could interact with crowds and perform live without television scripts or shooting schedules at this location. He played the father in Ron Clark and Sam Bobrick's breakthrough comedy, Norman, Is That You?, one of his most noteworthy appearances. The play explored generational strife and homosexuality, a controversial topic for its time, and Sutton needed both humorous and emotional depth. He showed his ability to bring honesty and vulnerability to a role that demanded acute comedic skills as the perplexed but loving father. Critics lauded his stage presence, saying his energy and charisma fit dinner theater's intimate, interactive setting. Frank Sutton guest-starred on many 1970s TV shows in addition to Neighbors' Show and The Stage. These roles helped him escape typecasting after his renowned Sergeant Vince Carter performance. He appeared in serious programs and sitcoms, surprising fans who only knew him from his military role. Sutton was intense and professional in criminal dramas, family series, and anthologies. These appearances kept him in the public spotlight and solidified his reputation as a reliable and competent character actor. Frank Sutton was acclaimed by audiences and peers throughout his career for his tireless work ethic, dedication to his art, and ability to make every role, comedy or dramatic, feel authentic and unforgettable. His post-Gomer Pyle years showed his versatility and willingness to improve as an actor, cementing his position as a television star and a dynamic and accomplished performer in numerous mediums. The bright and ambitious Toby M. Eigler, who would become a soap opera writer, married Frank Sutton in 1946. Their marriage began a lifelong partnership that would outlast Sutton's acting career's ups and downs. Toby, who loved books and storytelling, provided emotional and intellectual dimension to their relationship. Her television writing requires creativity, discipline, and perseverance, like Sutton's acting. Toby gave Frank constructive criticism on his performances and career choices, and Frank praised her writing. Even though Frank worked long hours on set and traveled, they created a stable and supportive household. They had a 1951-born boy, Joseph Joe Sutton, and a daughter, Amanda Sutton. Joe became a playwright and drama professor like his parents. He typically addressed deep emotions and social issues. He attributed his artistic sensibility to his upbringing, a home that values art, critical thinking, and expression. Joe's most successful Broadway play, Voir dire, addressed race and justice in the courts and was praised for its storytelling, which his parents liked. Amanda Sutton was a strong and consistent family member, even if she kept her arts profession covert. Frank, despite his rough TV character, was a loving husband and father. Sutton routinely boasted about his wife's IQ and children's accomplishments in interviews and conversations with colleagues, stating that his greatest accomplishment was being a father and spouse, not Sergeant Vince Carter on Gomer Pyle, USMC. Frank and Toby were married until his tragic death in 1974, demonstrating their strong love and respect. Toby never remarried and carefully guarded Frank's legacy after his death, keeping his contributions to American television and family life in mind. Their loving, creative, and values-based relationship established a lasting legacy for their children and others. Frank Sutton, who played hot-headed but beloved gunnery Sergeant Vince Carter on the 1960s sitcom Gomer Pyle USMC, died unexpectedly, leaving fans mystified for decades. Sutton's booming voice, tight posture, and great comedic timing made him a TV favorite and American household staple. Sutton's personal life and untimely death were unknown. Rumors spread. Repeated half-truths warped the facts. With additional facts and a clearer image, the truth is out. It's hardly the heartwarming story they expected. Frank Sutton, 50, died of a heart attack in his dressing room on June 28, 1974. He was about to perform Love in Shreveport, Louisiana. Many found this tragedy inexplicable. Sutton had always seemed energetic and strong, the perfect rough guy with a heart. But a tough work schedule and a profound dedication to his profession hid his health's slow decline. Sutton's health concerns were aggravated by years of heavy smoking, bad food, and constant stress from performing in television and live theater without respite. Doctors warned Sutton about his cardiovascular condition despite his discipline and enthusiasm. He persisted, feeling the show must go on. Many of his friends later confessed that he ignored warning flags for years. He ignored chest pain, shortness of breath, and exhaustion with his normal tough guy bravado. Sutton hid these health issues for fear of losing his career or reputation as a strong leader. In retrospect, this choice was devastating. The fact that Sutton's death was likely preventable adds to the sadness. Biographers found recent interviews and papers that show Sutton was urged to get cardiac testing and treatment, but he repeatedly postponed it due to work and public scrutiny. He feared appearing fragile, especially after playing a huge military sergeant. Unfortunately, this anxiety prevented him from receiving life-extending treatment. Additionally, his final days were stressful. After Gomer Pyle ended, Sutton tried to establish he was more than a one-note humorous actor. He played tough theater roles and toured the country with little respite. Sutton was fatigued from long schedules and performing in stressful situations, but audiences loved seeing him live. Friends say he was willpower-driven in the days before his death. Years of physical decline and emotional exhaustion may have led to his fatal heart attack. Unfortunately, his abrupt demise left his family and co-workers reeling and unprepared. Toby, their two children, and Joe Sutton, a prominent playwright, were crushed. They didn't realize his condition was so bad. His friends now regret not detecting the indications earlier or encouraging him to seek help. The what-if remains agonizing. What if Sutton got help? What if he slowed? Suppose someone intervened? In the years after his death, supporters suspected secret illnesses, addictions, or personal troubles. However, the truth is more sobering and terrible. Frank Sutton gave his all to every part, often at the price of his health. He wanted to show himself, keep working, and satisfy fame's expectations. That determination that made him such a great performer also led to his early death. With the facts revealed and the mystery lifted, what remains is regret for a life cut short and a warning about disregarding one's health for achievement. Frank Sutton's experience shows that even the best actors can suffer silently behind the chuckles and accolades. Sutton's death mystery is devastating and a sobering lesson that may eventually give his followers closure, even if it's not what they hoped.